Hello everyone, I'm Han Lee,
I'm Lee,
and I'm Na Soyeon. Today our topic is the right of women in New Zealand. We chose this topic because we heard that the right of women in New Zealand was very high. In Korea it is not so high, so we thought that the difference would be interesting. Contents. First, we will show some examples, and second, we will talk about the reasons for their achievement. And finally, we will compare the two countries, New Zealand and Korea. Examples. Women's suffrage is the right for women to vote and to run for office. In 1893, New Zealand became the first nation to extend the right to vote to all adult women. Kate Shepherd campaigned for the women's suffrage for 2 decades, and this is Women's Suffrage Petition. Many New Zealand women signed for their right. There is no president in New Zealand, except that there is a prime minister. In Korea, there was no female president, but there were 2 female prime ministers in New Zealand. Jennifer Mary Shipley was the first female prime minister in New Zealand, and Helen Clark was the second. But Helen Clark was the first female prime minister who elected by voting, and she served 3 consecutive terms from 1999 to 2008. Actually, the victim of rape is usually female, so we thought that laws regarding rape can show how high the woman right is. Actually, in New Zealand, the laws regarding rape is very strict and very strong. This is an example. This article is about a man who raped 2 girls 56 years ago. He was in prison for 3 years and he paid a heavy fine. But if the same thing happened in Korea, maybe he would not be punished because it happened too long time ago. Have you ever heard the term Kiwi husband? Kiwi is people who come from New Zealand, and Kiwi husband is a husband who takes care of household affairs after work. It means that New Zealand men are very good at taking care of household affairs. It is very common for New Zealand men to take care of their children or to cook for their family. It shows that they respect the woman very much. Sexual discrimination. If you go to New Zealand, you should be careful when you see a beautiful woman like her. Because if you say to her, "Oh, you're so beautiful," or "You're so sexy," it is illegal because it is a kind of sexual discrimination. And you can see the word chairman, fireman, postman, and salesman. These are kind of sexual discrimination. So it is changed in New Zealand. Chairperson, firefighter, postperson, or salesperson.
and I will tell you about why the right of New Zealand women have high position. I thought 3 things. First thing is historical background. In 18th centuries, the pioneer immigrated into the country, and they live hard life in better land. And we can guess the hard life through the point. Title is photographs of pioneer women, especially in this fashion. See their strong arms, their shoulders broadened. Woman pioneer, we can guess pioneer use axe and carries heavy things. So like this, they work all together without gender law, and women made a contribution. Second is feminist activity. Kate Shepherd is the most famous feminist in the New Zealand, and she get the suffrage, and so finally, New Zealand's women had suffrage at first time all over the world. Next person is Sylvia Cartwright. She's the first female governor general, and before also she was the first woman to be appointed to the High Court. At the time, she presided over to inquiry into issue like third women's council and its treatment. So she helped to get right of treatment in women's council. It's called Cartwright Inquiry. And also she served the committee on the elimination of discrimination against women. The next feminist is Jane Campion. She's the film director. All of her film character is women. She considers women outsider. So the most main character overcome custom and oppression in men's society, and they find evil. Her typical words is piano and on Angel and my table. Especially on Angel and my table is based on the New Zealand writer Janet Frame. Janet Frame's autobiography. It is meaningful because a woman understands another woman's condition and psychology. The last thing is to do it yourselves. It means, as I told you, they work all together without gender law. They have activity as strong as men, like this sport. In this New Zealand, a woman is not a weak girl, but a person. They lead themselves.
And I will present about comparison between Korean and New Zealand women. We searched some information and we found this table. Even though these days more and more women entering to workforce, you can see the Korean rate is very low. There are 40 countries and Korea ranked just 13th and New Zealand is 2nd. And this table shows women's political participation. The election in New Zealand in 2011, women won about 32% seats, but in Korea election in 2009, women won about 15% seats. And these days, Korean women empowerment more powerful than before, but I think we need to grow women empowerment in Korea, because as you can see the table, the Korea rate is remarkably lower than New Zealand. New Zealand ranked 6th, but Korea ranked just 54th. And this table is comparing the women empowerment by region. New Zealand is one of the countries in Oceania, and Oceania has highest score, and Asia has second lowest score. And this is the women's economic participation. And this is women's economic opportunity. And this is women's political empowerment. As you can see the table, Oceania has highest score and Asia has lowest score. And this is education attainment. As you can see all over the graph, Asia pretty low score, and Oceania has very high score. It means Oceania women is more popular than any other region. Lastly, I will talk about the gender gap between the New Zealand and Korea. The black line is average line, and as you can see the table, every 4 economic, education, politics, health parties higher than average in New Zealand, and New Zealand ranked 6 in 2011. And I think Korean gender gap is pretty extreme because, as you can see, the political party is very low. These days, Korean women try to show their feeling or opinion to the government, but I think we still need to try to express their thoughts or idea. In conclusion, we should try to treat men and women equally without sexual discrimination. Thank you.
What about men in New Zealand? What about men in New Zealand? If a woman says to man, he is so handsome and sexy, is it also true?
I don't know exactly, but actually if the men's right is 100 and maybe the women's right is about 80 or 90. So actually it is pretty high, but the men's right is higher than women's right.
Why do you think is the reason, while you compared New Zealand and Korea, what do you think is the reason for Korea being in such a bad position? You showed us the graphs. So give us a reason. Why is the situation for women bad in Korea? What's the main reason?
Because we are not considered the Korean women are bad. We just want to compare the.
Okay, so why do you think Korea compares so badly to New Zealand? Why is the comparison? Why is New Zealand so high and Korean women are so low? What's the reason for that?
You can just guess because of historical reason, maybe. Historical background. As you saw, the historical background was very big in New Zealand. Women's role was very big. But in Korea, the women's role was not so big in history. So that's maybe the reason.
Good answer. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very good presentation.